Right, so today we're going to try this. This came from Aldi, and I have had a craft kit from Aldi before and it was perfectly fine. It had quite a lot of equipment in it. It was a different make. This make is Project Craft, and it's a pour your own resin wall art set with 2 wooden shapes. And yeah, I've never done resin wall art before. I've seen it and it looks a lot of fun. About 4 years ago, I did ask for Christmas for some resin, and yeah, I've never used it. So I think I'm going to have a go with this, and then I'm going to test these kits out afterwards. I have already opened this one when I got it, but I have never properly unboxed it or used anything in it. I just can't get everything back in. So one of the things about a craft kit is that it's a good introduction to a craft, which is why I picked it up, really. Yeah, so let's unbox this and see what's inside. Oh. Okay. Ooh. So we've got a little plastic measuring cup, a bottle of resin, 50 ml, and a bottle of hardner, 25 ml. Another little package. A pair of gloves, plastic gloves, some mica powder. I think that's 2.8 grams, but it's very small writing, I can't actually read it. Some more mica powder in pink, and some more mica powder in black. 2 bits of wood. This doesn't feel like particularly good quality wood, but it's, in fact, they're both slightly warped. Or is that just one? No, I think one is slightly warped, which isn't a good start. Oh, another lot of mica powder, 2 lollipop sticks, some gold leaf, who doesn't like gold leaf, and some instructions. What you need, not included: small plastic cups, a large bin bag, and a paper towel. Optional, disposable tray or baking tray, aluminium foil, and a hairdryer. Start by setting up a work area. We recommend covering this area with a large plastic bin bag to save your surface from any spillages. If you have a disposable tray to catch the drip in resin, this is also helpful. You could also cover a baking tray in aluminium foil. So these blocks are quite small. I'm quite sure I can find something to set them in. I'll have a look before I start. Lay out your workspace and make sure all your materials are laid out and organised. You will need a few small plastic cups from home. Be sure to wear the plastic gloves at all times during this project. I'm not sure I have any plastic cups. I'll have a little rummage through the recycling to see if I can find any containers. Start things off by prepping your resin and hardener. Use the measuring cup to pour 2 parts resin to 1 part hardener into your mixing container. Be sure that the materials are room temperature. Make sure you mix the 2:1 resin hardener ratio correctly, as the mixture will not harden properly. Use a mixing stick to slowly mix the hardener and the resin. Scrape the sides and the bottom of the mixing container in order to fully mix both materials together. It is imperative that you mix the resin and hardener thoroughly. Once the materials are mixed properly, you have 30 minutes to work with the resin before it begins to harden. Lay out your wooden canvas and be ready to begin pouring the materials onto it. Choose which colour or colours of mica powder to add to your resin and mix it in. In order to get your ideal consistency, At this point you can also add in pieces of gold coloured foil leaf to your resin. Once you've mixed the resin to your liking, you may begin to pour the mixture onto the wooden canvas, going slowly but as evenly as possible. Once this is done, let it completely dry. If you see air bubbles begin to form on your canvas, you may use a blow dryer to blow the air bubbles out. Okay, right, well, that's the instructions. This is the kit. I need to just do a little bit of setting up, so let's get that done. Right, I've got a tray. I'm not sure if that will all fit on the screen, but yeah, I've got a tray, and what I'm going to do is cover it with a black bin bag, and I'm going to, I couldn't find any other kind of a tray. This wasn't quite big enough. So what I'm going to do is, it does say that I can cover the area with a large plastic bin bag. If you have a disposable tray to catch the dripping resin, this is also helpful. You could also cover a baking tray in aluminium foil. Well, I have plenty of kitchen foil, so I thought I'd just make some little holders to put these in, and yeah, hopefully that will be enough. I do hope I'm not going to make too much mess. Right, so I've got two little holders, two bits of wood and a plastic tray. Now I'm struggling to find plastic cups. Now it doesn't actually say how many I need, and it also doesn't tell me whether I need to make up every single colour separately. What do we think? Am I supposed to mix a different colour up in each of the cups? I think I am. It doesn't say so, but I think I am. So I need to find some more plastic bits. What can I use? Right, so I only have one plastic tub, so I'm going to use some coffee tins. I hope that's going to be fine because I don't have anything else to use. I also think I need to try and raise the camera a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Right, hopefully this will work. I'm a little bit nervous about doing this. Measuring cup, what did I do with that? They've only given me 2 wooden sticks, which means I'm going to contaminate a colour unless I find another. Right, 2 parts resin to 1 part hardener. Doesn't tell me how much resin would be ideal, but 2 parts resin to 1 part hardener. So let's try 10mm and 5mm and see what that gives us. And you need to mix them thoroughly. Right. Two parts resin, 1 part hardener. $5mm. Stir. I'm just going to do it in here because slowly mix it. Scrape the sides and the bottom. I'm supposed to be wearing the gloves, aren't I? It doesn't say if I need to use all of this powder or some of it. I've probably put about half of it in. Might be too much. It's a little bit like mixing grout. It's very powdery in there. It might need a bit more mixing than that. Right, are we good? So do I just do that again? Am I even going to have enough mixture, or do I swirl it around? Because that's very thick. Or what do I do? I don't know. I don't even know what I'm doing. Try a bit more then. So we did 10 ml of this. Ml of this, mix it together. That's even got some of this white in it as well. So I can put a bit of gold in that one. I don't think you need much of it at all. This isn't covering the board properly. I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna run out of all this. I don't think there's going to be enough to do too. Not going right up to the edge, that's annoying me. I'm guessing I'm supposed to use much more of this, but I'm not even convinced there's going to be enough in here to do 2 pictures. quite like that. I think I was supposed to put a little bit of gold leaf in. I've got some of these gold leaf flakes that I'll probably not find useful, so I'm going to try some of these. And I'll keep the sheet of gold leaf for another project another day, I think. Okay, that's completely random. I quite liked it before I put the gold leaf on. Right, let's try another one then. See if we've got enough in here for that. I know I'm not supposed to be mixing it in this little tub, but unfortunately I'm using such small measures, it's tough to get out of the other tub. I don't like this whole working under pressure on a time limit. I also don't particularly like not knowing how much of this mica stuff to put in. And it's no lie, this is a messy business. And I should have worn the gloves. I've no idea if I'm mixing it for long enough. And at this point I'm feeling like the instructions, whilst they're fine, they are not particularly the clearest. There's a bit of the mica powder falling on the board in front of me. Just try and mix that in. I think it's okay to do this. I should have probably watched a tutorial. Right, last bit then. Looks like there's going to be just enough. I quite like this ability to kind of then draw in the nothing in the instructions said that, but this is almost a little bit neurographic, isn't it? I really love that one. Less keen on this one. Gold leaf that I've dropped in. Everything's covered. I'm loving that one. I hope that's the good bit of wood and not the warped bit of wood. Yeah, don't know what to do with that bit. Don't know how to dispose of it. Now I'm wondering if there's enough left over just to cover a photo frame or something, because I don't want to waste the resin that I've already made, and I do have a little bit left, but I'm not 100% convinced that I've got enough to make. That's the last of the hardener. See, it's all beading up. That's annoying. Oh well, you live and learn. What else have I got that's wooden that I could then move that onto? That's not going to be enough for this, is it? Oh well, you know, in for a penny, in for a pound. You know, we're going to give this a go. And all because I didn't want waste. So I don't actually think there's quite enough to get a good coverage on this canvas, and it is coming in from the edges again, which is annoying. Let's go back and check the other one. Maybe I needed to treat the canvas first. I mean, this is all one big experiment really, isn't it? Shouldn't have done that one. But still, that's what it's all about. Right, I'm done. I'm done with resin. Let's let it dry. I just realised how much of a mess all of this desk looked, and if like me you were so impatient that you really could not be bothered to put the gloves on, the best way to clean your hands afterwards is with some Swarfiga. Okay, so let's have a look at the results, shall we? So it's been a full 24 hours, and these are dry. There's a problem. Do you see my problem? Oh dear. Right. I think the moral of this story is quite simply, these needed to be on a raised surface so that the drips all drip down. I mean, I should have known this. I should have thought of this, but I didn't. It doesn't get any better, trust me. This one, oh goodness. Nah. This one, oh dear me. Goodness me. I mean, the tin foil's stuck to the wood. It is a little bit wrinkled because at some point I moved it and I pushed up the tin foil and it wrinkled. But you know, actually, the finished result, if it wasn't for the fact that oh dear. the finished result is pretty good. See if I can focus on that a little bit better for you. The finished result is pretty good. You can see the wrinkles in it up there now. It's glossy, it's solid. The effect is really pretty. It's just a shame. Yeah, they needed to be raised so the drips could fall down and then they wouldn't have stuck to the tin foil. Yeah, I don't really like the gold leaf on this one, but the overall effect again is really quite nice. But yeah, I definitely don't like the gold leaf and I wouldn't use that again. The leftover bits and pieces. Oh dear. This one isn't so bad, but it's still stuck. Excuse me. But it is still stuck to the tin foil. Let me say that again. This one isn't so bad, but it's still stuck to the tin foil. Yeah, same issue. But this canvas had been sat on my shelf for about 3 years and hasn't been used. So the downside is that there wasn't enough resin on this. So you've got canvas showing at the edge, and the weight of the resin on the canvas made it all pull into the center a bit. But the canvas is still quite flexible. And it's a really lovely effect actually. I would be very keen to do this on canvas again, but with more resin. So was this kit worth it? Well, for £3.99, yes, it was fine. It had just enough equipment, resin and the mixing hardener to do the 2 plaques, with a tiny bit left over for this canvas, which actually does look pretty good even though it didn't do a full coverage, and even though it's got tin foil stuck on the back. You know, it's not going to be hung on my wall, but it was a good introduction, that's for sure. What would I have done differently? Well, I would have raised these up so that the resin could have dripped off onto the tin foil rather than making a big resin edging around the wooden plaque. The instructions just didn't say to do that, and you know, that's a fault in the instructions. You're following it step by step. So what else would I have done? I was trying to follow them precisely. I didn't need to use a hairdryer and I didn't have any air bubbles to deal with. Yeah, I think I will have a go using the Peebo set that I've got, and I'll probably do a full review of that as well. And yeah, anyway, thank you for watching my disastrous efforts at resin wall art. Have you had a go at this yourself? Did it turn out any better? Did you use a kit like this one, or did you just follow another tutorial? If you know of a really good tutorial or a really good YouTuber who does resin wall art, very good tutorials, do let me know, because it might be worth me watching that before I try it again. So yeah, do give me a thumbs up if you made it this far. Your support genuinely keeps me going, and I hope to catch up with you again soon.